Once again, we're back. Welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. Today's topic, we're talking about qualifications of dating. So before we begin, I would also like to say, press that like button, share, and most importantly, subscribe. We have a special guest with us today. Her name is Michelle McDaniel. But before we begin, okay, so we also have my brother Cleveland, the co-host, and like I said before, we have Miss Michelle McDaniels.
Nice, that's cute.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, it's trying to beat this southern heat, man. The heat wave hit early this year, didn't it?
Yes, we still got July and August to deal with.
Dude, I'm not even ready, but
Oh my
it is
God.
what it is. Hey, we here.
From the South?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm used to it, but we're just not. This is super early for 90, 95 degrees. We weren't ready yet.
okay, where you from?
I'm born in Alabama, but I've been in Atlanta all my life.
Which part of Alabama?
I was born in Birmingham, and most of my people are in Montgomery, that area. And then, my mom and dad migrated their way to Atlanta from Birmingham. Been here all ever since.
Okay, so let's get started. Qualifications of dating.
Man.
Let me say this before we get started. So I've been married for 6 years.
Okay.
But I remember after my divorce, when I was out here dating, it was a horrible experience.
Mm-hmm.
I did have some good experience, but I had more horrible experience than good experience. J Dub, what's going on, man? Hey, you may have to send me that cash out, man, and y'all might win it tonight. But I'm still rooting for my Celtics. Yeah, but anyway, it was horrible. I realized that now that I look back, I realized that there was a lot of people that shouldn't have been dating, wasn't prepared for dating. They didn't know who they were. Now that I've looked back,
Mm-hmm.
but but at the same time, I also knew that it was a process for me, so that's why I dated more than one person. So I knew it was a process. But anyway, let's get started.
All right. Now you said you were dating. You saying your dating experience after your divorce or before you got married?
Yeah, before I got married.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's horrible before you got
divorced.
married.
I was married the first time. After that first divorce, I was dating.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
And are you married now?
Yes, I've been married now for 6 years.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So qualifications. Ooh, that's a touchy one nowadays. I'm telling you, with this generation, it's weird. Where me, I've been married for, let's see, I'm married and have been married for about 14 years, but we are separated. So let me just go ahead and put my stuff out there to let you know where I'm coming from. Separated, not really trying to work on it, but
okay. How long you been separated?
Oh man, probably about 6 years. So it's like, okay, are you seriously?
You've been married for 14 years.
Exactly. And separated for 6.
For 6 years.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem like a separation because we see each other every day, not like that way, but just the whole co-parenting, and I don't know, it just seems like we get along better as friends. It's just the relationship thing. It just, didn't always click right, but it is what it is. I'm definitely not looking forward to getting back out in these dating streets at all. So I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit comfortable in this situation where I can say, yeah, I'm married, but I'm, still. So no, I'm not dating. I'm not looking. I'm not doing anything like that. I've got 3 kids, so I'm not even in that arena. But I do understand a lot about what's going on. I understand my kids' feelings about possibly getting married one day, not wanting to ever get married. it's a lot going on out here.
How old are your kids?
My son is 14. My daughter will be 13 soon, so she's 12. And then my youngest daughter, she's 10 years old. So they're right at that preteen hormonal type, stage. And I'm sure, looking at things between me and their father, which it was never ugly, it was never violent. It was just like it just wasn't clicking. And I don't know how much of that is going to influence their desire to want to get married or, move forward into any type of relationship. But like I said, everything that's being fed to them on the internet is basically you can just do what you want to do, be who you want to be with who you want to be. It's a little crazy, their mindset, young kids anyway, about relationships. So that's concerning for me.
I understand. So do you think that will discourage the kids? Your them seeing your experience, what you're going through, you think that'll discourage them from getting into a serious relationship?
I mean, you know what? I think it will make them a bit hesitant, but I mean, I'm good to tell them about, how you need to go about relationships in general. And it's not just about physical relationships, it's not about romantic relationships. It's just about how you need to deal with people and how you need to pick the type of people you want to be around and the type of people you want in your life. So I don't harp on them so much about, oh, well, just because it didn't work with me and your dad, then you guys still no, I want them to just understand about relationships and people and understanding how to get along with one another. I think at the end of the day, whoever you're with, you have to be a friend. You have to be in a friendship with this person before y'all can even think about anything romantic. So for me, my thing is teaching them how to be in relationship with people that you might not necessarily agree with everything about. So it's about relationships, man. It's sister brother relationships, mother father. So if they're discouraged, it's that might be an issue. But I just want them to learn how to have relationships, relationship with me, relationship with their dad, relationship with one another. And when you meet the right person, hey, the romance can come. So I don't know. Traditional marriage, is that something they're going to be shying away from? I don't know. I hope they don't. Because I mean, I'm telling you, we need more marriages. We need more kids. We need for people not to be saying, I don't need this, I don't need a man, I don't need I'm not with that. I'm super traditional when it comes to that. But like I said, you got to be in the right relationship, period.
I've had conversation with guys in the barbershop on dating and everything, and for the most part, I was talking to some guy. This probably about a month ago, and they was talking about it's hard out here, like you were saying, Michelle. It's hard out here dating, and I was asking them, well, what do you think? What qualifications do you have in dating? And one of the things they was talking about was, the women want men, who makes a good, decent pay. And these guys I was talking to, they like in they 20s, I think 23, 24, 25. And so I was explaining, so they're in their head, they already know the qualifications of what women will want from them. So one is, they know that a woman is going to want a man who can provide, who can date them and who can afford to date them. So off the rip, they know that. And then on top of that, they was like, well, they also, want you to, to be able to communicate. They want us to spend time. They know women want the quality time in effect. So they were just, throwing different things at me, that they said that, the qualification. I said, so when it comes to things that you present to them that, the qualification you expect from them, what does that look like? And they was like, man, they just don't feel like they don't have to bring nothing to the table. They feel like
Right.
you take me for me. That's it. You just accept me. Um, I'm not going to. If a man want a woman, that is feminine. They like, look, I could be feminine when I want to for the right man. I could be, I could be disciplined. I could be submissive for the right man. And they like, well, listen, how you want me to bring all these things to the table? And I just supposed to just accept you for who you are. That's it. Ain't no negotiation, nothing. That's just it. You got to take me for who I am. And they're like, so it's hard out here right now because, for one, most men don't make what these women want us to make. We still in college. Some of us still in college. Some of us just graduated from college. So we making $40,000-$50,000 a year. But these women want men to make 80, 90, $100,000 a year. They like, man, we trying to get there. And that's why I wanted to read. I told the young man, I said, listen, the older you get, the more and more, you focus on, your career, the more and more you focus on, you know, what they consider getting to the bag. I say your stocks and everything is gonna go, especially if you ain't out here having kids, you know what I'm saying, all these different baby mamas. I said, but your stocks is gonna go up. I said, but what women don't realize is the older that they get on the dating market, it tends to change for them. And one of the guys, like, he was dating a girl he said he was dating her for 2 years, and he said we had a great relationship. But she told him that he doesn't financially, she doesn't see a future in him because he doesn't financially excite her. And I was like,
Whoa.
I was like, what did she mean by that when you asked her? He said, well, she told me she's tired of, she want to splurge. She want to go out and buy what she want to buy. And, being that he's dating her in a relationship.
What age group is this person we're talking about?
He was like 22, 23.
Okay,
No,
that's why she's talking the way she's talking. So she's probably around the same age. That's why it sounds like a young person.
Right.
So, but I told him, and he looked discouraged. I said, brother, I said, no, stay on your journey. Stay building up your resume. I said, because the older you get, the more profitable, the more women will see, or the older you get, the more wiser you get, on how to spend money, how to save money, you know what I'm saying, and how to deal with relationships. I said, but I promise you, they will come. I said, just stay on your purpose, man. Don't fall off your purpose. Stay on your purpose. And it was funny because it was a lady in there, and she was like, yeah, I'm trying to get my daughter. She was like, they don't want to get married. She was like, they don't want to get married. She was like, they talking about, they just want to date and, find a guy who, who's going to be able to provide for them. And they don't want to have kids. And she's like, how you going to tell a man that you want to date him, possibly, date him for years, and you don't want to give him no kids? And she was like, I was telling him, like, no, that's not how that works. A man he wants legacy. So he's going to want to have kids. He's going to want to have kids. They tell him, nah, I'm not trying to have kids. I don't want to do that. I want to be selfish. That's what she said her kids was telling her.
Yeah, that it sounds good for now. But I'm gonna say this: we got Mike in the building, and I want to go back. Jeremy said something. He said something key too. Yeah, he said hard out here is overwhelming majority of women think more highly of themselves than they actually bring to the table. That I do. That is going on a lot, and I think a lot of brothers that are good brothers are experiencing this. What Jeremy just stated in his comment. A lot of them they overthinking, like they're, like they got this magical thing like that, and it's not a reality. But I will say this though, with this inflation though, Jeremy, I think a lot of reality gonna come to play. I think when it's time for these jokers, when they upside down and these mortgages and these jobs start laying off, that guy making $50,000, he look pretty good right about now.
What you talking about? Okay.
That guy driving that old 83 Nova, he looking good right about that.
Yeah, I mean, for real. Look, money, economy can change a whole bunch of stuff.
And they say it's about to hit hard too. So
and I believe it. I believe that.
I mean, I'm not jumping the subject, but I know everything, money does correlate with with relations. You can't have relations without money. No finance, no romance. You know how that goes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Somebody about to say something?
No, I was gonna ask Michelle, so you have a lot of friends that are single?
Quite. Well, let me my circle, because I don't really have a lot of friends. When you're a mother and you got 3 kids, you don't really have time to have a lot of friends. But I got a homegirl, I got a bestie, kind of in the same situation I'm in, kind of, relationships a bit iffy. And yes, we got caught up in the whole Kevin Samuels thing, you know what I mean? Back last summer when it was like really popping all over social media. And you had the ones that hated it and the ones that loved it. And she and I discussed that a lot. And, I think we did have some concerns at first, like, man, if we have to get back out here in the dating market, I mean, what is it going to be like? I mean, who's going to want, somebody with 3 kids and this, that, and the other. And so, we got ourselves caught up in that. And then we started to think, well, you know what? It's not about all that. Because I got a lot of people, I know a lot of former coworkers that have found marriage in their 40s and because guess what? They weren't looking at what the man had. It wasn't about, I mean, obviously, yes, everybody has to bring something to the table. But just like you were saying with this economy, there's no way you can expect that you're going to find a man that's going to be able to take care of you, your kids, and you not have to work and contribute anything at all. So
Exactly.
we're thinking about it on that level where it's like, okay, no, we're not looking for 6-figure earners. Because just like Cleveland and I was talking the other day, it's not enough to go around. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty good woman, as far as like what I bring to the table. I mean, I'm a I do web design on the side. I work, I hustle. I'm willing to do what I need to do. So when you start looking at those types of qualifications and thinking, okay, yeah, I need a man that can just kind of fit into that box with me, then we're good. But with that whole Kevin Samuels thing and all these women that are 6-figure earners thinking that they qualify for a 6-figure man just because they're making that kind of money, I don't think that's realistic. There's not enough 6-figure earners out there to go around. And Black women are out here really doing some things. I mean, business owners, restaurant owners, I mean, big things. But you might not be able to find a man that's on that same level. So
That's
that was
reality.
my thing.
That is a reality.
I'm seeing some female friends, people on Facebook, people off Facebook that are happy and finding love second time around. And these people are just happy. They're happy they finally found themselves. So then when you find yourself, then it's easy for you to find a mate. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
we got
I
off all
agree.
that. Oh, he's got to have this and the other. Hey, at this point, you know what I mean. You got a job. You love yourself. Do you love you? Are you a good person? How's your spirit? How's your emotional health? I mean, let's
Right.
get out of all this. What's going on with the pockets? Because that's not really where it's at.
No.
It's not realistic. Not in
A
the way
relation,
this economy is headed. It's not
a
realistic.
relationship, a relationship really consists on compatibility. It has nothing to do
Period.
with
At
compatibility.
all.
So I gotta ask you this. I gotta ask you this, Miss Michelle. Now
Okay.
you've been single for 6 years now.
Yeah.
So and this is a podcast show.
Okay.
So just asking now. So and you say you're not involved with your spouse that you're
At
separated from.
all. At all.
Okay, so now when that thing itch, now I mean, somebody got to scratch it now. Come on.
Let me tell you something now. I was telling somebody that the other day. I was so focused for like the last 6 years on the kids and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do and getting through school. It seemed like I had really almost forgot about relationship, romance, and all of that. But I'm telling you, these last few months, I'm like, wait, chick, you still a woman, and it's time to. Hey, well, let's just say I'm ready to get back out there. Period. Because yes, I am lonely. I know that I'm ready to be. My kids are old enough to take care of themselves now. They can eat. They can fix their own stuff. I'm ready to get back out there. But yeah, I'm a little concerned. I don't know what's out there. I feel like starting all over again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even know where to start.
I
So
I tell people this all the time. We're man and woman. We're not designed to be alone. I
right,
will say that. Now you don't necessarily have to have a sheet of paper saying that it's official at the state,
right,
but we're not designed to be alone. I will say that. I will
right,
say that.
right,
Yeah. Uh, so but and like you're saying, now you're coming to you know a point in your life where now you are seeking that. So with that also being said, what if you met someone now, and again your paperwork ain't right?
right.
Your paperwork ain't right. So now you met
we
this guy. You met this. Hold on now. Check it out. So
okay.
you done met this guy, and now he done checked off your box or whatever. Y'all are very compatible, and he's serious about it. But now your paperwork ain't right. Technically, you're still married.
Right.
So how now what do you think he's thinking? I'm just trying to get you to understand this now from a man's perspective. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. No, I feel you on that.
It's unfinished business, what I call it. I call it unfinished business.
Right. Well, I'm talking. Well, if he's the right one, that business gonna get finished real quick. I'm talking about expedited quick. So that's not even a question. That's not a question, and shouldn't be a concern at all. Like, hey, come on. Hey, I'm 45 years old. I feel like I still got another good 30, 30 or 40 left in me.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Oh no, that wouldn't be a problem at all. That's just been not really getting around to it because I hadn't really thought about it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, well,
yeah, but my point is, why wait? If there's nothing going on there, what are we waiting on? You understand what I'm saying?
Right, no, I feel you.
Yeah. Let me put I'm gonna put my give myself as an example. So when I got divorced in my first marriage, I was married for 20 years. I was with her for 23 years. Whoa. So yeah. So when I got a divorce, I automatically knew, okay, when I go out here and interact, well, first I dated myself. I waited for almost 2 years before I started, putting myself back out there because I wanted to press the reset button. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what I'm saying is I didn't want to meet somebody that could be that person. And I'm like, well, I'm single, but I'm technically I'm married. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to have that confusion conversation. So I want to be clear and straight when if that person came across my path. That's how I was thinking. And again, everything that different way. I'm saying that's what I did because I didn't want, because I knew some, especially you know how females are. They'd be like, oh, stuff still must be there. You ain't right, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah, hold on. What you holding on for? Why you ain't been out and handle your stuff? That type of stuff. And let me say this: in the Black community, especially in the South, y'all know it's a lot of unfinished business where people just separate and never go down,
get divorced.
Their business. They're in both parties are in relationships, and everybody live their life. Now and then, when somebody pass away, now it becomes disaster because you got some stuff that's unfinished. Technically, he don't have the rights or she don't have the rights, and it can become chaotic. So that's why I say it's very important to handle your paperwork.
That's just my get out there. No, I totally agree. And I wouldn't even want to put myself out there. Like I said, essentially it was just 6 years of just not even focusing on me and my needs. It was all right, kids, work, handle business. And I'm telling you, it's like I almost forgot that, hey, I am a sexual being, literally. And oh my gosh, I don't want to tell too much of my business, but clearly, y'all, like I said, 6 years. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sound like a lot of doors there.
Oh my gosh. No, like let me tell you something. Like you said about that down south though, because my grandma, she was separated from my grandfather for years, and they never got divorced, and they were in separate houses forever. So it's some crazy stuff that goes on.
You know what I'm saying is got some
I totally get it. Yeah, that's some real
because stuff, right? This is the thing, Michelle. Once the kids leave the house, that's when it's like, wow, now what?
And you're really gonna be lonely when they gone.
Yeah,
see, they're occupying a lot of your space, a lot of your time. Mm-hmm. But guess what? One day they're gonna have a life, and guess they have to spend time with their significant other. And guess what? Mama gonna be at home by herself, and you're gonna need some more energizer batteries, or you're gonna need a man. You got to make up your mind. You want energizer, or you want a man? Which one you want?
Hey, I want the real deal, bro. I want the real deal. So like I said, I'm getting there. People get out here. Thing, it just like the light just came on. It's like, hey, chick, wait, life ain't over for you yet. So I hear what y'all saying. I'm not getting out there in the streets until I got everything straight on paper.
There you go.
And I'm looking. Don't worry, I'll be straight soon, baby. if y'all checking me out, I'll be right. I'll be right soon.
I'm gonna say this too. As far as men and women getting out here, there, like I was saying, just talking to them guys at the barber shop, I just was telling them, if you dating a woman and she's basically dating you for your money, what you think is gonna happen when that money change? Like just like y'all
Mm,
was saying in this economy, you know, he can lose his job. The finances can change or whatever. Do you think
mm-hmm.
she? And I asked him, I said, do you think she's gonna stick around? So if you dating a woman and she's telling you, you gotta financially be there, and that's basically all that she's dating you for, when that
You don't
money,
need
what you think is gonna happen? So I
you
told him,
don't need
I said, look for women that are dating you for your morals and your values.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's just dating you because of your money, it's a possibility that money can change, man, and you're gonna be sitting
Right.
there looking crazy. I said, so nah, you don't want to date a woman because she's looking at your bank account. She's looking at how much
Right.
money you get.
Yeah. Let me
And,
comment on
and
what
they were just
Jeremy did.
saying that
Let me
women.
comment on.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, man.
I was saying I wanted to comment on Jeremy's statement. He was just saying financially, men a lot of the times can't divorce because significant financial burden brings from men. Now that is a true statement to a certain degree, but let me say this, Jay. Let me say this, man. When I filed for divorce, because I filed for divorce,
Whoa.
man, listen, I wanted peace, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted peace, and Cleveland can attest to this. And I asked her, she came to me. She was like, "What do you want?" She was like, "Do you want what do you want? You want the want a TV or something?" I said, "Listen, you can have everything in here. The only thing I want is my music and my clothes and my tools. That's all I wanted. You can
Mm,
have the bed. I'm not trying to split nothing with. I'm not trying to get into any of that because those are just things.
right.
Because
But get them back.
you can't buy peace. You can buy things, but you can't buy peace.
Right.
Peace is priceless.
And it was the
All
same
day.
thing with me. When once I divorced, um, and we was separated for a year and a half almost, you know, and finally, we did get a divorce or whatever, and pretty much that. And I filed for divorce as well. But I like you said, Daniel, I just wanted peace. I'm just glad I didn't go through all the things that I know a lot of guys went through
Mm,
with going through a divorce. We agreed on all terms or whatever, and everything was fine. It just was after I moved on, then we had issues. But yeah,
right.
and I really didn't get a chance to get out because for a year and a half I dated like you did, Daniel. I dated myself.
Yeah.
I changed everything about me. I had to because if I didn't, I felt like I was going to draw the same type of energy and the same type of person. If once I got out here today, I became vegan, started meditating, started riding my bike. I just did everything. I did a whole 360 inside out. Just changed
Mm,
everything.
So
I like
Jeremy,
that. Yeah.
once that's yeah, that's good. Jeremy, again, brother, okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying child support, alimony is real. How much peace would you have if you can barely take care of yourself? Guess what, man? I get it. Now, however, let me say I was one of the fortunate ones. My son just had graduated from high school. I didn't owe one red iota. I never paid child support. I don't even know what child support feel like. So I
Mm,
can't expound on that. However, I will say this: peace is priceless. With that being said, brother, if you got to go get two jobs, you're gonna have to weather the storm. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice in some cases. Now, sometimes it is cheaper to keep her. But what about if she says she want out? She want out. And now you still stuck with the alimony and the child support. Now what? So
period.
sometimes you have to weather the storm and prepare. You just gonna have to you gotta buckle down, man. That's what
Yeah,
you're gonna have to do.
absolutely. Because the thing is, yeah, you don't get married to get divorced, but at the same time, you can get everything back. You know what I'm saying? You could get everything back, man. Time will tell, man. Time will tell.
I
Erica said
think
peace is a great thing. Yes.
what's up, Erica? Bro, so I get it, bro. I
I
get
get
it.
it.
I
I
get it.
do too. I do
But
too.
Hey man, again, you got to weather the storm. So okay, so you got to get creative. So I could throw a whole bunch of variables out there.
But,
Get
but,
your
but
roommate.
because
Go
this,
with your family members. Something, But if she says she want out, then Jeremy, what else can you can't make her keep you? You can't make her change her mind.
mm.
Now,
And on top of this been happening for
if you're
years.
strong enough to be miserable, but Cleve, if he's strong enough to be miserable, to keep going, pulling up in his driveway, sitting in his car, and don't want to go in his own house where he paying mortgage on, then hey, you got to make a choice. You got to man up.
Yeah.
Because I've been there where you pull up, you don't even want to go in your own fucking house.
That's horrible, man. That's a horrible way to live.
You just sit in the driveway for about 30 to 40 minutes. You just trying to figure some shit out.
Wow. That's horrible.
Hey, yes. And the thing is, I think most men can relate to that. Most men can relate to that. One, he said, "Damn, bro."
Yeah.
Most men can relate to that because we are not. Most men don't leave their marriage. They just don't. Women file for divorce most of the time. So most men do not leave their marriage. So we try to stay in there to the end because we know regardless to who did what, it falls back on the man. Society, it falls back on the man. They always say, girl, divorce him, be strong, but they tell a man, hey, look, man, you got to be there for your kids. You got to be there for your family, man. You got to put up with it, man. That's just how it goes. So we both being told two separate things. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, you just listen, you gotta wait till that storm clear. But when it does, brother, it is a beautiful thing, man. It is a beautiful thing.
The storm will pass by. It will. It's gonna subside. Trust me.
It's gonna pass. Yes.
Yeah,
no doubt. Y'all found love second time around. So I mean, that's encouraging. Like I said, I tell man, hey, go for it.
Absolutely.
Get married, man. Get married. Get committed. Commit to something.
I'm more happier now. I'm more happier now than I was in my pre. I mean, I'm not saying that because I am just being honest,
I mean, and you should be. I would hope you're going to be happier the second time around. I'm telling people, get married. Get commit to something. Let's stop this new culture of like they was like y'all saying, oh, you can just date and jump off here. That I think we need to get back to being committed to some stuff.
It sounds good in your 20s. And it might be okay in your 30s, but when you get 40, shit start getting real.
And it get real old too. I'm talking about that stuff get lame, it gets boring, it gets old. I'm looking for one that I can chill and grow old with. You know what I'm saying?
Jeremy, what you got here, man? Let's see what here. Why can't women?
What did he say? I'm not saying the screen. I want. What did he say?
He's saying why can't woman man up and be a boss chick and get on her own? I mean, Jeremy, it's a case by case basis, brother. It's a case by case basis.
Listen, man. At the end of the day, we need each other, man. We need each other. I see that old boss chick.
If it can't work, no. But I'm saying if it can't work, Cleve, whether it's male or female, if it cannot work, the sooner you leave, the better.
Oh yeah.
There's no need for you to be living in misery. You was not put here on this earth to live in misery.
Right.
And the thing is, you're supposed to learn from your mistake. Like you have to learn from your mistake. If it don't kill you, man, you should learn from it, and it should be. Yeah. I promise you, everything that I learned, everything that I went through in my first marriage, I learned from, man. And
I definitely learned. I learned a lot.
But because my thing, like I always say, my thing was I did not communicate like I should. I just didn't. Because I didn't know how to communicate as a man. I never seen a man communicate. You know what I'm saying? I just never seen it. I always seen
that's issues. We all got issues.
Go to work and that's it. Provide, protect, go to work and that's it. I never seen a man communicate. So I didn't know how.
Right. I grew up in a single parent home. So I had issues. The way I saw my mother deal with her boyfriends is the way I thought I should deal with my husband. And that was the absolute wrong way to deal. So no, we had issues. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't know any better. And so when you know better, you do better. So second time around, I plan to do much better and learn how to Keep his mouth closed sometimes. Because
Yeah.
everything ain't worth fussing about. Pick your battles.
No,
And I
you
didn't
have
know how to do that.
you have to pick and choose your battles, and you got to understand there's no need to use a large energy over small things.
Mm, indeed.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we got to teach this next generation coming up too, though. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Because like I
right.
say, it's
And
conflict resolution. It's
and it,
about
and
basic conflict resolution in any relationship. That's why I keep saying we talking about relationships in overall. Just
and
learning how to
it's
talk.
good.
You know.
It's good you saying that too, Michelle, because we need women like yourself. You know, even if you don't have a daughter, if you out in the work field and workforce or whatever, and you see this young lady, y'all just happen to have conversation. The conversation is talking about relationship. This is how you put these, you tell them, oh, okay, well, this is how you do it. This how, this is how they learn. This is we supposed to, we're mid-age, we're in our 40s. We're in our 40s. So we supposed to be giving them what they need to help them along the way. Now, granted, they're going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but we supposed to inject wisdom in them as much as we can.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, because we the OGs now, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just saying.
We earn these stripes.
For the most part, us, talking to, because I love talking to young guys and just picking their brain. I pick their brain all the time, and I just tell them, listen, man, y'all got to stop going out here and making babies, man, if you're not willing to be there for that child. And I know that is the industry now. Like, that is the thing. It's like people are just having kids just so they can have something to love, not realizing that, okay, that child is going to need both mother and father in their life. I mean, I heard a conversation the other day that blew my mind. Like he I just stayed. I just was with him because I needed. She said I needed sperm to have my kids, and I'm like, huh? I was
Can you imagine if the child heard that conversation?
well. The thing is, the child was young, but she was talking to one of her friends when she was saying it, and I'm thinking like, so you just finding men just to have kids with, and you don't care that the father is not going to be in the life. Like, make that make sense to me. But then they'll go to out here in the dating market and think that a man's supposed to accept that. Accept that you just pick random dudes to have a child with, and now I'm supposed to come take care of some random dude's kids and take care of you. And women have to stop, because I tell dudes all the time, look, man, if you don't see being with this woman for a long time, because there's so many ways of protecting yourself from having a child. I'm not saying not have sex. I'm just saying not have kids. You can have sex without having kids.
Right.
Stop having these kids, man, because at the end of the day, the kids are the one who's suffering. Now your seed is out here, not with a father. Guess what? My niece or nephew or my child is gonna date this same person. It's a domino effect. Like, no, stop doing this. And ladies, yeah, I mean, I won't say ladies. I let the ladies talk to the ladies. But men, y'all gotta stop doing this, man.
Right.
Y'all
And
really
I will
do.
talk to the ladies and tell them do not have any children out of wedlock. No, that there is no badge of honor. There is no respect, and you fight harder having kids out of wedlock, just trying to get prove paternity and trying to get legitimacy and have your child legitimized. I mean, it's a lot of stress that comes with having children out of wedlock, and that's the one thing I said that I was not going to do. Regardless, there was going to be no question as to whose name was going to be on that birth certificate. So, I mean, there's nothing cool about having a whole bunch of random kids. I'm 45 years old with 3 that still driving me crazy right now. But you have to put so much time into them. And if you don't have somebody that's helping to at least support your back a little bit, man, your life is going to be, oh my God. Women are really people out here really losing it out here. I mean, talking about anxiety, stress, you hear some of the stuff Black people are doing stuff that we never used to hear about back in the day, suicide and just crazy, nutting up, leaving their kids. They're in the crazy houses. This is something really crazy going on. And this is not us. This is not what was traditionally us. We have gotten so far away from what we used to really, I don't know. Something's wrong. There is something very wrong in our culture right now.
I think one of our biggest problem is we have, and we this been for the I'm gonna say for the last 50 years, we've been normalizing single parenthood.
Yeah.
And I think that's
And yeah,
that's one.
and
Now
they right.
it's layers to our problems in our community, but that's one of them.
Yeah. And
Because
dogging men out. You can't dog men, dogging men out because they not making money, dogging them out. Because
right,
it got ugly. I'm telling you, that war. I'm telling you, that gender war
it's
is
done
sinister, bro. It's
but
sinister.
but you know who suffer from it? Black people.
Of course.
White
Because
people not
white women holding on to their men.
a white
Women
woman,
might be out there
white
doing
woman,
that feminist
a
thing,
white
but they holding on to their men
a white woman will make more money than her husband, and she won't try to belittle him whatsoever.
at all. At
She
all.
might, matter of fact, if she making enough, she'll tell him to stay at home with the kids. If she making,
Exactly.
she sure will.
Now, like I said, why they started all that white feminist movement and got us all involved in that mess, they were still going home to their men. And we
I
was
think,
out here talking about we don't need no man. I
I
don't
think,
get it.
I think what we have to do is we definitely got to stop joining these freaking groups, man. We got
What
to
you
stop.
talking about?
And if it
What you
ain't,
talking about?
if it ain't about family, then we shouldn't join in. If it ain't
That's
about
what I'm
family,
saying. Because you don't
yeah,
need nobody
and
planting nothing else in
it's
your head.
crazy because it's statistics out there that shows where a lot of the problems is because you got 51% of black men who are single and childless. Then you got another 30% of black men who are married. So these men that are walking around that these women complain about not doing and holding up their end of the bargain, that's 19% of black men. So you got 80% of single black women, single parent who are having kids from 19% of men. That
Mm-hmm.
them numbers do not make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take them numbers and show it and talk about it, but numbers don't lie.
Right.
That those numbers do not make sense. That means that women are circling the same Pookie and Ray Rays. Like they circling the same dudes.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
It's the same dudes.
yeah.
So we definitely got to stop that. We gotta, and it's accountability on both ends. But with those statistics, we see where where a good bit of the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta stop. We gotta stop raising our daughters to be tough and independent, and raising our men to we love our men. Women are loving their men. I mean, they sons and making their daughters tough.
Right.
That it's vice versa. Like you want your daughter to be tough, but you want your son to be soft. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a mentality. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what that's about because I mean, there's not one woman that can say she hasn't fallen into that. Because with my son, I'm more like, oh, okay, let me, help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. It's like there was something happened in the movement where we felt like we had to lift them up and do more because they couldn't do it on their own. I don't know. That narrative kind of really got skewed in our heads. And then we became bitter and angry about it because it was like, oh, help a black man because he's gonna catch hell out in the world. So you got to go the extra mile to help him out. But then somewhere we started to get angry and bitter about that and just said, forget them. Kick them to the curb. They can't do it. Then they're on their own. There's something real twisted about
I think it
something. What
started.
happened, y'all? Is it the
I think it started.
propaganda? What's
I think it's yes. There's a little bit of. Well, let me say this. It started off with our parents, right? Our parents had a lot of bad experience. Our mothers were, some of them were abused, physically abused in relationships. And so when they had daughters, that's why I say it started with them because we're the Generation X. We're all in our 40s on this panel.
right?
So then that's when they go, you go to school, do this, so you don't need no man. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
her bad experience, she's injecting this idea in her daughter. So when you go to school, you do this. Well, you don't need, because you don't need an end for shit,
Right.
that type of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've all, and as when I got older, and then when I was like in my mid-20s, because I used to hear it. You hear it so much, you just hear it all the time. I don't want to need nobody for nothing. I even heard some guys say they want to raise their daughter, but they don't need a end for nothing, right?
Right.
So I'm saying, so I said to myself one day, I said, if you're a woman, you need a man. If you're a man, you need a woman. Like what kind of statement is that? Sometimes we make ridiculous statements without thinking. And again, I get what people are trying to say. Yes, you wanna be uh, independent, but then you want to be codependent as well when you come into a relationship, because it's not all based. I'm not saying a woman just should be sitting at home barefoot, raise kids. That's not, in this society, both parties got to work anyway. So what are we
Right.
talking about? So that's that whole ideology of I'm gonna sit home. You can't even sit home if you wanted to these days. So,
No, you
so
can't.
that era when our mothers and father was coming up, those days are far gone, far gone. That we're living in a whole different type of world right now. It's not even a black and white thing no more.
Right.
We keep talking. Some of us still talking. Oh, the black man did, the white man. I mean, you can
That's a
keep saying
bunch of
that.
crap.
You guess what? You look around. You see Asians. You see Hispanic. You see a whole bunch of others around here, and they moving along. You know, and guess what? They're not getting caught into the propaganda. They know the importance of relationship. They know the importance of family.
But they fixing their own problems too. They not
Right.
waiting for.
No,
They
they're
not
not
waiting
having these
for.
problems. They're not buying into these ideas. These
not.
ideas are only targeted towards us. These ideas, when you go watch those movies, those Tyler Perry movies, every time it's predictable. You're gonna see a single woman. She got some kids. She meet this wonderful black man. He gonna take her in, and everybody live happily ever after. But the guy who she had the kids with, he was the bad guy. He was abusive. He was slapping all on her and all this old stuff. All of his movies had this damn near same script. So
Pretty
these
much.
have what's the other with Waiting to Exhale? So again, all of this stuff has been embedded in our sister's mind throughout the years. This is propaganda. This how you make people think the way you want them to think. You control the thing what they call television, telling lies to your vision. So when they put this in your head, you're not even thinking, okay, I'm gonna think this when I go home. But all of this stuff, you keep hearing it over and over and over and over again. Then eventually it starts sinking in
So
because
what's the agenda then? You know what I'm saying? What's the agenda?
Here's what I say. As far as relationship concerned, first, find out who you are. Know who you are. Know what you're able to tolerate. Because in a relationship, you are going to tolerate some things. Because that person got to tolerate some things about you as well. Right?
Right.
And you be very honest when you meet that person. So when you meet that person, you tell them what you can tolerate, what you can't tolerate, what you can, compromise with, what you cannot compromise with. It's all about transparency at this point. You in your 40s, you sit up here playing games. Then next thing you do, because again, when you was 18, your list was this long. Now your list this long. You don't have those type of options, especially, I'm telling you right now, especially
For real.
sisters. Y'all don't have them type of options like that.
Bruh,
Yeah.
I know.
So
Trust me, I know.
Pretty much, you got to find a man and sit down and say, "Look, let's make a deal." I mean, that's what it comes down to.
It's a business. It's still a business. A relationship, a marriage is a business.
These are my morals. These are my goals. These are my values. This is what it is. Your morals, your goals, your values line up, and it got to make sense. It has to make sense. If you go off of that, I promise you can build and make sure this man he knows his purpose. So many women are getting with these dude because he fine, because he drive this car. That has nothing to do with his goddamn purpose. I promise you it don't. It has nothing to do with his purpose. Find out what this man is doing. And if he's in his 20s, and 30s, what that resume look like as far as him working, as far as him building a career, you need to look at that. Because one thing that men do, we want to provide and we want to protect. Those are two things that I don't care you Chinese, black, white, we want to provide and we want to protect. You know, that comes that should come standard. But I don't know about this youth now because they don't want to work.
They don't have a choice now. Watch when this stuff hit. Yeah,
they don't want to work, and I'm hearing so many young ladies complaining about how hard they have it, and I'm like, compared to our mothers and our grandmothers, like y'all are more educated. Y'all surely make way more than our grandparents did and our mothers did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
and still unhappy, and still unhappy.
And still unhappy. But understand this as well. I hear women say, men, they go to these jobs and men are upset because they get these jobs and they taking a job from black men. No, we never had them. You competing in these job market with Caucasian men because we never owned any businesses. We never was CEOs or none of that. So stop saying that you are competing with your men. No, you're competing with them because they are the ones who hold those positions. We are trying to get in there and basically y'all have a step up. Women have a step up. Y'all have allies. Y'all got other women.
Right.
Black men, we have no allies. Do we have any allies? Do black men have allies?
Zero.
No.
But I will say this, Brother Cleve, just to piggyback on what you just said. Once when these corporate 500 start laying off, because it's coming.
It's gonna be ugly, man.
It's coming. I mean, Tesla just laid off some folks. I think Amazon just laid off some folks.
Hey, so Amazon's not even hiring right now, and they just split their stock and stock.
But guess what? They're gonna start dropping off.
So what they doing is they know that they was hiring all these millennium, all these people who was computer savvy, but now they getting rid of a lot of these folks because you got to have experience. Now they want experience. They like you got to go with experience because we didn't hire all these folks and they got us believing that they can actually do this job and they can't. They cannot do this job. So they going back to hiring experienced people.
Yeah, but also because of the inflation and we're going to a recession. So when they do that, everybody cut back. So when they cut back, that means they cut jobs because the company always want to save money anywhere they can so they can continue to stay in business.
Right. No, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna make some people gonna be sticking it out just because they, like you said, they're not gonna have a choice. They're gonna have to stay together.
They're gonna have to but let me say this about black men though. And I'm just talking about the typical black men. I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray them. I don't represent them at all. But I do know them. I know them kinds because I come from that kind. But I mean, we are very traditional. We're very traditional, and I think it's just my opinion. I think a lot of times these modern day sisters, I think they buy into the feminism, whether it's directly or indirectly. They buy into it, and when they buy into it, they inject it. They bring it into the house. For example, you may be a supervisor on your job and you're over 15, 20 people. Okay, that's fine. Have no problem with that. But once when you come through the door of what we call our home, you have to take your boss lady hat off and become my wife. And I think a lot of times they have a problem with making that transition. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
And one of the things, men, ladies that's out here dating, like most men, they don't care about how much money you make. They just don't. I hear ladies say that all the time, like, yeah, he was intimidated by how much money I made. I'm like, most men don't care because 9 times out of 10, we gonna be while we dating, we spending my goddamn money.
Right. Exactly.
My money.
So we don't benefit about how much you make.
Because if you ask a guy what are the qualifications of the things that you want in a woman, he's gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you he wanted to be, she needs to be feminine. That's on the top. But that's one of the biggest things that men say. They be like, man, I cannot stand old masculine women who
I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm a strong.
They can't stand that. They can't.
I don't want strong. I don't want strong.
That's one of the key things that men cannot stand. That matter of fact, they'll be willing to even take a woman, you know, with that's not petite. You know what I'm saying? Over that. But that's one thing out the door. Like you cannot be masculine because a man. I have heard women say that they could be feminine when they want to. And I'm like, so do you think a man could just be masculine when he wants to? If you're in the street and a dude run up to you with a gun and he said, you know what, baby, I don't want to be masculine right now. I want to be feminine.
Go ahead to be masculine.
Bro, is you crazy?
Take the bullet, baby. You take the bullet.
Masculine off and on. Like that makes no sense to me.
Right,
feminine all the time.
Right.
Like, huh?
Right.
Or a woman say, a masculine female. I'm looking at him like, no, that makes no sense.
Right.
That makes no sense.
A man.
Alpha female. That an alpha male
that doesn't even make any sense.
An alpha female. I promise you that would never happen.
But that never work.
That's like a drug dealer and a crackhead dating. It just won't.
Listen to me. If they're that strong and they call themselves this alpha woman, they might as well be a lesbian.
Pretty much.
But that's one of the things that men that we would not buckle on. We would not buckle on. We would not buckle on a woman being masculine. We just don't. We don't want that.
Right.
You know, we want you to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Discipline, meaning you know how to talk, and you know how to talk to me. We want you to be friendly. We want you to, and when you say submissive, they don't realize submissive is agreeable. We want you to be agreeable, not all the time, but agreeable. We can agree to disagree.
Right.
But you say submissive, you say feminine, like it's like, why wouldn't you want to be that way?
Why you don't want to be who you're supposed to be, which is a woman?
Thank you. I'm telling you, that agenda is real. That propaganda, whatever is in these women's heads.
If you hard as me, I don't want you.
Right. Most men do not want a masculine woman.
I don't want you. Yeah.
And the ladies, I hear them say, they want a man who's more emotional. And I always ask them, I say, listen, let me explain to you about a man being emotional. Like a woman, she gets emotional. One of the things she may do is cry. She may cry. She may, voice her opinion, curse you out or whatever. But if you get a man that's emotional, what is he going to do? One, he may put his hands on you. That's an emotional man because he doesn't know how to, he doesn't
control himself. He lacks discipline.
Yes.
Right.
He lacks discipline as a man.
So women, when you say you want a man that's emotional, you really don't.
Right. You don't know what you don't know what you're asking for. You don't
know what you're asking for. Argue with you.
Yeah. If he's sitting up there arguing with you, putting his hands on you, then that's what he's
an emotional man. But
emotional man.
But that's how we express our emotion. When you get a man that's emotional, that's how he expresses it. So you don't want an emotional man.
I call that effeminate. I tell my son that all the time. I'm like, I don't want to see you walking around here fussing with your sisters. You shouldn't be out here arguing with girls at school. You're supposed to say, hey, you say what you say and keep it moving. What are you smacking lips? And I don't like that. That's effeminate to me.
But I'm gonna say, I agree. And I can tell you, and a lot of guys, a lot of us guys who was raised up in single parent home, we just didn't know.
Right.
I remember in my 20s, I was like that at times. Well, not putting my hands on nobody, but argumentative, trying to win the argument. Trying to win the argument. And then as it took some time for me to realize, even when you're right, you don't have to prove that you're right. Just know that you're right.
Right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But it took some time for me to get that because I didn't have, my father in the home, because I lost my father at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I didn't argue. Like I just didn't. I said what I said. Person said what they said. That's what it is. On my previous marriage. But my marriage now, I communicate more because a lot of times, you assume a person knows what you saying or how you feel or whatever, so it won't be no mixed communication or no misunderstanding. A
Right.
lot of times I would just, I think one thing about me, you could say something to me and I'm not gonna respond right then and there if I know that what I'm about to say is not gonna be logic. Like I logically got to think about it because I'm a thinker, and so my wife had to learn that just because I don't say nothing right then and there, because you've been at home all day waiting for me to get home so you can. You know what I'm saying? You had it all in your head how I was gonna say. If he say this, then I'm gonna say that. If he say this, I'm gonna say that. So I come home and you boom hit me with it. Give me a day to do the same thing you did. Okay, you said this, so maybe I can say, give me a day to do the same thing. And I had to explain that to her, through counseling. We would go to a couple of counseling. I had to say, listen, she think that I'm not responding because, because I'm not paying her no attention, whatever. But the thing is, I'm thinking logic. I'm not going to try to make an emotional decision off of, what I'm saying, how she reacts. So I say, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Give me a day. Give me a day. And she be looking at me like, what? I'll be like, yeah, just give me a day. You had a whole day to think of everything you want to say to me. Give me a day to respond. Mm-hmm. So, once that day is up, them 24 hours up, she want her answer. But I had time to think about it. Mm-hmm. I had time to think about it.
All right. So
Self-made said, I'm listening, bro. I'm just being quiet. I might laugh out loud.
Right. Hey man, thanks for chiming in. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. We've this was good. I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed this as well. Hope I get a chance to come back.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's what you're always welcome to come back. But now you got to do one thing today. You got to subscribe. You got to subscribe.
Okay. I got it. All right. Send me the link.
Right. So every well, just go to YouTube and just press the red thing says subscribe.
Okay, but I just gotta look for the show. It's all good, Cleve, my boy. So when he told me to jump on, I was looking forward to it. So this is a good conversation, and this conversation needs to be had as much and as often as possible.
Right. Yes. We need more of this in the community. And again, it's okay to agree to disagree because we have had other females on here where they went straight left on us. Yeah. But again, we laugh at them, and we try to reason. But at the end of the day, that's how y'all feel. Okay, fine. But again, we still black people, so
Yeah, and we gotta have these conversations because this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Like this is how it's supposed to be. Women are over here talking, men are over here talking, but we talking about each other. So why not meet up and have these conversations? Together. Yeah, right. But I will say this, sisters. Y'all can't ask us what we want, and then when we tell you, you want to push back because you have to, we have to meet each other in the middle. You have to give and take. That's how it goes. So this platform, this is what we have it here for, so we can have these conversations. And I checked out your podcast, Michelle, and I was like, I gotta get them on here. I gotta get them.
I gotta check it out too. So what's the name of your podcast?
Well, it was Raindrop Combos. That was something we kind of kicked off last summer because it was pandemic. We didn't have anything else better to do, so we would jump on and talk about a few different things: love, relationships, celebrity stuff. So right now we got it on pause and planning on coming back even bigger and better. But right now we just kind of chilling. So we've got a few episodes still floating around out there. It's Raindrop Combos. So we were going live through Facebook and YouTube. I think we were going like every Sunday night, something like that. But we had some good times, and so I think, like I say, it's about the conversations, man. It's about us having conversation about us and not letting other people have conversations about us and what we're doing.
And we got to change the narrative, and we got to stop being so negative. Like I said, it's okay to disagree. We're not going to agree with everything just because we look alike. Just because we're black. Everybody is the individual. I get that part. But let's talk to each other, not talk at each other. Let's respect each other. and just let's just love each other like we're supposed to.
And
That's
the thing
exactly what we
is,
need to do.
we influence the world.
Mm-hmm.
Black American men, and we don't influence just we influence the world, from Africa to Switzerland. Like, we influence the world. Everybody is
Mm-hmm.
watching us and seeing how we move. Everybody. So we gotta we it's in house. Nobody's coming to change this. We gotta
Right.
do it. Nobody's coming to save us. We gotta do this.
You're right about that, bro.
All right, so we're past the 1 hour. Uh, 1 hour with the
Yeah.
podcast. So what we always do, Miss Michelle, we always do say whatever on your heart, or just some words of wisdom, and then
And be out, yeah, because I gotta go. I gotta get on mommy duty. I just want to say that, just like Cleve said, man, we are the influences of culture. We are the culture. You know what I'm saying? And so having that type of responsibility, that's powerful. And I just hope that we can start to shift it in a way where it really makes us, like you said, we're still traditional people, downright conservative if you really think about it. And
we
I
are
just
more.
think I would love to see us get back to that. And I just hope we can start using this man's internet and this platform and these outlets to try to shift this conversation over to something that's just more positive. That's period. That's just where I stand with it.
What you got, Brother Clee?
Michelle, appreciate you, sis. Come on. Listen, this
Yes,
is
sir.
your platform as well. If you want to invite a guest with you, you can do that. If you got anything, any products or anything that you want to showcase or whatever, this is the platform to do it on.
Awesome.
And listen, thank all our listeners, all our followers, subscribers. Hit that like button, share and subscribe. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
Yep, just like Cleve said, like, share, but most importantly, please subscribe.
Yes, indeed.
I want to wish myself, since we're not doing a show tomorrow, I want to wish myself a happy birthday.
All
tomorrow.
right now.
Tomorrow.
All right, bro.
All right. On that note, we out.
All right,
Peace.
y'all have a good one.
All right.